She was a woman in what was, until recently anyway, pretty much a man's world. Margaret Maly of College Hill brought that world to life on canvas with watercolors. Maly passed away late last year, but as Local 12 News reporter Jeff Hirsch shows us, her passion for art and for trains lives on.
This may look like a storage locker. In reality, it's a museum.
So this is my aunt's art exhibit, all of her paintings.
The collected works of Margaret Maly, who started out painting landscapes, nature, with perhaps an old barn. But for the last quarter of her 84 years, Margaret Maly painted the railroad hundreds of times.
Oh, I'm sure these are all trains. I mean, she carried 2 books of photos in her purse. One was her grandchildren and one was her train pictures.
As a young woman, Maly sold encyclopedias, worked as a dental assistant, but eventually started bringing out what was always in there somewhere.
It was just always her real passion was doing the art. It became her outlet for her creativity.
But why trains? That dates to childhood. Maly's father was fascinated with industry.
And so when she was a kid and they would travel, which, they traveled a lot to see the country, they would always go to train yards and look at the trains and see the engines. And that was really her initial interest in that sort of, in trains and machines and how things operate.
But not just interest in the machines, also in the railroaders who ran them. Most of her train pictures also include train people. And in a business where women were once few and far between, as were female artists, Margaret Maly managed to paint pictures of progress.
Maybe being a woman was an avenue for her because it was so unusual. She maybe got access to some places that she might not have. I don't know for sure, but she loved the people.
These paintings were for sale at a variety of prices, and they really weren't cheap. This one is listed as $3,000. Obviously nobody bought it because it's still here, and that's kind of the way it is for a lot of these pictures, because even though they did have price tags, Margaret Maly really did not want to get rid of them.
Not in it for the money. She was very, very reluctant to let go of any of her pictures. She liked to keep them and take them and exhibit them and share them with people, and share particularly her love of trains with people.
Not bad for someone with no railroaders in her family and, other than high school, no formal training as an artist.
I think she was amazing.
Jeff Hirsch, Local 12 News.